The Chief Justice, Mandisa Maya, has expressed concern over allegations made at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, which she says could damage the integrity of the judiciary. And this is after Witness A told the inquiry that 2.5 million rand was allegedly set aside to secure the bail for Katiso Katie Molefe. The witness, however, couldn't confirm whether the money was meant for Acting Judge President Aubrey Ledwaba or the prosecutor. So let's talk about that development. Let's also talk about the response from the Chief Justice with Research and Advocacy Officer at Judges Matter, Mbekezeli Benjamin. Good morning. It's lovely to have you as always. And we were just, reflecting over the course of the last few days how we've got to have this intent concentration on what's happening in the ad hoc committee and Madlanga, even though they're parallel hearings, they're very much intertwined. And we see the idea in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry emerging from what we're hearing from those two witnesses, possibly implicating members of the bench. Now, this is something that Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi also alluded to in that July briefing of his, that there was a whole complex of involvement and influence here. I just want to hear your thoughts on this development vis-a-vis Judge Ledwaba.
Good morning, Iman, and good morning to the viewers. We are really worried about the allegations that have been made against the judicial officers. So it is Judge Ledwaba, but also Chief Magistrate Madlanga in Pretoria. The allegations have been made by General Mkhwanazi and the two other witnesses, Witness A and Witness B. And they are worrying. They do have a risk of tainting the integrity of the judiciary. And so we expect that all three witnesses would firstly substantiate the allegations, because as you rightly mentioned, Iman, the suspicions for now are that there were questionable bail conditions that were set, and there is this latest allegation that a bribe was either paid to the prosecutor or to the judge. And so what we expect to happen now is that there should be proper substantiation of those allegations. And based on that substantiation, we are hoping that the JSC and the Magistrates Commission would then kick in and investigate these allegations, because they can't be left to linger.
But here's the thing. Must they intervene? Who acts first is the question, because Witness A and Witness B, these are serious testimonies, as you've just also agreed, suggest serious professional misconduct and bias. And I think to the point that Chief Justice Maya was making is, why wasn't this evidence? Why wasn't, at the point of them realizing or even believing that such a thing had happened, take that evidence to the JSC, this is the Judicial Conduct Committee, for them to conduct a preliminary investigation? So that's on the one side. And on the other, do you know if there's a clear line between, or an SOP between what police identify in the field when it comes to members of the judiciary and passing on information?
Well, look, police do have a legal responsibility to report impropriety of judicial officers, either to the Judicial Service Commission or to the Magistrates Commission. So yes, this evidence should have been brought earlier to the relevant commission. But that is beside the point. The issue is that in the here and now, these allegations are at the commission. They are serious allegations, and they should be dealt with. At this moment, the statement at the commission, it does paint a picture, but it's just not enough. There needs to be a bit more evidence, and then based on that, it triggers the processes of the JSC and the Magistrates Commission. And something else I must emphasize here, Iman, is that what we've heard so far from all three witnesses, including General Mkhwanazi, is that they are concerned about the bail conditions and the bail judgments that were handed down by the judicial officers concerned. Now, the law is very clear. The JSC cannot inquire into a judgment. The Section 15(2)(c) of the JSC Act says that the JSC should dismiss any complaint relating to a judgment. And so that's why the JSC can't simply investigate based on what has been presented so far. It needs further substantiation that specifically looks at the conduct of the judicial officer concerned, and which is why here we believe that the police have a responsibility to provide additional evidence. Who was the money paid to? When was it paid? Any of that information will assist in triggering the processes of the JSC and the Magistrates Commission in terms of the investigations. Because right now, it really is not enough, unfortunately, even though it is serious allegations, it is concerning allegations.
Mbekezeli, so essentially you're saying the conduct of judicial officers can be questioned, but not their decisions. Is that right?
Yes, the decisions must be taken on appeal. And here, another important thing, Iman, is that the judgment was handed down on the 11th of August, handed down by Judge Litaba on the 11th of August. The NPA has a responsibility, if there is any concern about the decision itself, it should have taken it on review in the appellate courts. It's called a reservation of law, a reservation of a question of law. That's the process that is ordinarily followed by the NPA. And so NPA also needs to explain if they are taking that action, because if they are not, then it limits what the JSC can do in terms of an intervention here.
Very, very important, and thank you for that detail, because already, you know, when things exist in the realm of speculation or unsubstantiated evidence, you know, there is a lot that happens in that space in affecting public trust in these institutions. And so the work must be done. I guess it was important then to hear that Ledwaba is offering himself to the committee. He's refusing anything like a special leave or anything like that. He wants to come directly to the committee, commission, and give his own account.
Well, yes, he does need to be given the opportunity to present his own version of events at the commission, and we hope that that would be soon rather than later. But we disagree that he should decline special leave. And in fact, out of the integrity and protecting the reputation of the judiciary, we think that he should take special leave. Of course, special leave does not mean that he admits to the allegations or accepts that the credibility of the allegations. But considering that he's currently in charge of the busiest court system in the country and the reputational harm his further continued stay with these allegations hanging in the air, we don't believe that he should continue in the role. He should step back. It's not an ideal situation because currently there is no judge president and there's an acting deputy judge president in Pretoria. But for the interests of the judiciary, he should step back and take special leave and quickly go to the commission to get these allegations clear, but also to submit a statement to the Judicial Service Commission that denies and counteracts these allegations. But like I said, the most important thing is that the police officers themselves, they do need to substantiate the allegations.
Will you be doing any kind of advocacy with the Chief Justice to promote the point you're making now?
So in the past, when allegations like this have arisen, Judges Matter has written to the Chief Justice. We did so, well, the Chief Justice and the Judicial Service Commission. We've done so in the case of Judge President Mbekezeli. As soon as those allegations arose, we wrote, and we were the first to write to the Chief Justice about them. Another judge in the Free State had allegations, criminal allegations against him. We wrote to the Chief Justice, and so we will be doing the same in this case. But like I said, the important thing is that there needs to be substantiation so that not only does the JSC investigate, but the judge can actually respond substantively to the allegations.
So even if these claims remain unproven, the optics are devastating. You have a sitting acting judge president accused of being biased, but worse than that, of being involved in potential corruption. And as you say, this has been corroborated in a sense, or the story, that idea has been confirmed by at least three people. How much damage do you think this is doing to public confidence in the courts, if at all, in Mbekezeli?
Well, look, I think, Iman, we must be careful here, right? The police officers obviously are experienced police officers, and we shouldn't completely disregard what they've said. But we also can't take it at lip service only. We can't take it at face value. We do need a proper substantiation of the allegations, especially in respect of the question of the payment of the bribes, because that will be damaging. Because if there is no substantiation and allegations are just thrown about judicial officers without that substantiation, unfortunately, that will do much more damage than just the allegations being made in the first place. Because right now, allegations without substantiation are sort of,
All right.
in a way...
Mbekezeli, I don't know if you were riveted to your TV, glued to your TV screen yesterday in respect of that testimony from Mbekezeli, but he's going to be the first one up this morning at 9 o'clock, so arriving there in Parliament. Just to close off our conversation, though, we were talking about, and you were sharing with us, why it's important that these matters are cleared up quickly in respect of the optics, historically and in the contemporary setting when it comes to judges being potentially implicated in crime or criminal networks.
Yeah, absolutely, Iman. There is an obligation for these allegations to be cleared up as quickly as possible. But I think, like I said, the first step is that the allegations must be substantiated. When you allege that a judicial officer is biased, there are legal processes to deal with bias. When you are dissatisfied or disgruntled with an outcome, a judgment, there are legal processes that are in place. But to make allegations that a judicial officer has been offered a bribe, that takes it to a different level, and it needs substantiation. It needs to be dealt with swiftly by the Judicial Service Commission or the Magistrates Commission, as the case may be. And that is the normal process, and that is the process that we expect will happen in this case, because the allegations need to be cleared. Either the judge is found not to have acted properly, or he is cleared, but either way, for the goodness of the integrity of the judiciary, they need to be dealt with as swiftly as possible.